Hello and welcome to Footy Judge. More people. Are we actually still saying Poch out? I think we'll see. We'll talk to the guys. Chelsea smashed Aston Villa. You can't put it less than this. Smashed Aston Villa. Aston Villa were absolutely atrocious. Terrible by Aston Villa, to be honest. But brilliant by Chelsea. And Enzo Fernandez responds to me. Responds to myself with that brilliant free kick, to be honest. Listen, absolutely Chelsea. And Nicholas Jackson played well, believe it or not. And my screen is cutting out for some particular reason. I don't know why. But listen, we're here. Listen, the weekend is approaching. Chelsea fans should be happy. Look at them with the glum faces. Guys, smile. Stay, people. You won a game. You smashed Aston Villa away. Smile, people. Be happy. How's everybody feeling after this win?
FA Cup final, here we come, man. Wembley 2.0. Come on, man.
I'm glad. I literally have no complaints today. I am happy. We're just not used to this. That's all. That's how far we've fallen. That's all. I agree. It was very, like I said, very good game today. I got no complaints really today whatsoever. I'm actually kind of surprised. Actually, I'm generally surprised we played like that today. That was all.
Yeah, you are. I'm not sure if people are surprised, to be honest. But listen, hit that like button, people. If you're watching this now, if you're watching this on the replay, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to actually start with Olo here. How did you see Chelsea? How did you see Chelsea today? Did you see Poch's footprint on the game? Or do you think that was just a one-off thing?
That's a very good question. Look, first of all, pressure builds diamonds is one thing to say, right? And the amount of pressure that the players, the coach, the club has been under for the past, since that Wolves game, I mean, there had to be a performance that had to come out of it. So the reality was that this was to be expected in terms of they having to raise the game. But the problem is that we've seen this with Chelsea before in terms of a great performance. We saw it with Arsenal, we saw it with Man City, where they raised the game. The problem is actually, can they continue on that same trajectory? The historical sort of data tells us no. As a Chelsea fan, you'll be hoping that actually this is a turning point, and whether it's Poch has figured out a formation, whether it's the players just have been put under so much of the spotlight that they have to perform, the next game will show us that, or the next 2-3 games will show us that. So, if you're a Chelsea fan, I'll say you have to enjoy every victory as it comes, especially when it's been so little this season. But at the same time, don't get too far ahead of yourself, because you still need these players.
Oh no, they aren't. I tell you that they aren't. These guys are going to tell us Poch has to leave tomorrow.
I think Ollie, you said it right. I'm intrigued now. At 7 p.m. Monday, the starting lineup that comes out, because we've seen little briefs like this before. When we have like a good result or something like that, he will revert back to type. I'm just waiting to see if he actually has learned himself and got out of his way and gone, oh, do you know what? Putting Enzo closer to Caicedo seems to work. You know what I mean? As we've been screaming, and Mo knows that we've been screaming that all season to work. Maybe dropping Thiago Silva will help. Maybe dropping Sterling will help. Do you know what I mean? Barring any injuries, obviously we have to take that into context. But is he gonna learn from this? Is he gonna somehow go, oh yeah, this actually works? And then if he does do that, then it takes pressure off him, because he's actually doing what most of the fan base wants, in certainty. And then it falls on the players solely. And I agree, Mo. I agree. I think Jackson needs to stay out wide. I think it's better for him, his game. He seems to be, there's a lot less pressure on him when he's out wider instead of centrally. I know he'll give away the ball still, but that's just him as a player. But I don't think it'll cause us that much damage if he's out wider than he is centrally. It's just now trying to find a balance. It's trying to fit like an Nkunku in and a Palmer in and something like that, and going forward. But it was a very good display today. Like I said, got no complaints today whatsoever. None whatsoever. I was actually very surprised we played like that because I was expecting to go out.
They're very confusing though. Now I was saying this the other day. It's a very tough ask. It's a very tough thing to actually figure out, because looking at the league table, Pochettino should be sacked.
Yes, he should. You're right. You said that consistently.
Yeah, you should be
Yeah.
sacked. But every now and then he comes up with something like this, with a performance, and you think, well, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time where he turn it around.
Doesn't it remind you a bit like Ollie in the last few weeks? Of
Yes,
Manchester
every
United?
time. Yeah, Ollie at Man United, every single 3-4 weeks, and then he comes this game,
Yeah.
and he's like, he saves his job. I can't tell, but I look at the league table and I say, yes, you have a style of play. Yes, I see what you're doing on the pitch, but you still should get sacked.
Right.
It's ridiculous, because
Yeah.
every time I'm looking at the table, I can't get my head around. You are sitting 11th on this Premier League table.
Yeah.
He has to get. There is no context. There is no cup game. There is no cup final. There is nothing here. It's only one fact that you are sitting 11th on the Premier League table.
Yeah.
But again, is it on him or is it on the players as well?
Well, I think.
I think
if he goes forward like this and starts picking, because it wasn't like a huge change. Well, I say this, if you're dropping, if you're dropping,
he's saving his job, people. He's saving his job.
You know this, Mo. All we said is drop Enzo just a little bit deeper and close to the Caicedo and see what happens. We don't know if it's going to work, but see what happens. People have been asking for Stone and Thiago to be dropped. Okay, let's see if it gives them a kick up the backside, and let's see if it works. Play players in a normal position. Maybe Jackson is better out wide than he is centrally. I think he prefers that. Let's run with that. But like Mo, I'm waiting for that lineup on Monday night against Palace to see if he's actually going to go through with that or revert back to what's happened previously. We'll see then, won't we? But that's the thing. We don't know. We're just guessing. But today's game, I can't fault him. He got everything. He got everything right. Now, how much credit you give him? Because people might say, and I've heard it, he should have done that before anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it's how much credit you actually give him.
He can go to Crystal Palace and lose the game. I don't think he will lose. Right?
I don't think they'll lose as well.
I don't think they will lose. But if that's the case, and then they go and lose against Man City at the Etihad, oh my God, sack him again. Why are you silent yet? Why are you not talking?
Because I can't believe, because I can't wait for someone to say you still Poching. You know what, Mo?
I'm not going to ask you if you're Poching. I want you to tell me, bro.
Mo, the main thing I want you to do, I want you to put yourself on big screen, nice and big, mashallah, and say, Enzo Fernandez, I am sorry. Because the amount of rubbish I've had to hear from you and others about Enzo Fernandez is beyond.
Because he scored a free kick.
Because
don't make me do this.
No.
Wallahi, this is crazy, bro. Why do I have to fucking apologize?
I want you to apologize. What do you mean? Why?
Because he scored a free kick. Okay. How about you apologize to Conor Gallagher, who actually scored a brilliant goal today?
No.
Apologize. Who opened up the game?
Conor Gallagher opened up game. Fair play, good goal. But no one.
Fucking rubbish.
It doesn't change the fact Gallagher's not good enough for Chelsea.
Exactly. I will apologize if you were a big screen. Apologize to Conor Gallagher. I will apologize to Enzo Fernandez because
I put Gallagher in my team of the season. What are you talking about?
Okay, apologize to Conor Gallagher. I'm gonna put you big screen. But you're gonna apologize.
I put him in my team of the season.
Apologize.
But why am I apologizing? I put him in my team of the season. I don't need to apologize.
No, you said you literally just said Conor Gallagher isn't good enough for Chelsea. Did you or did you not? Now.
For the amount of money he gets, 100%.
Okay.
40 million.
No. Forget money shit.
It's not money, bro. 40 million, he's not worth that. So get rid of him.
Okay, so if Conor Gallagher isn't worth 40 million, Enzo Fernandez is worth 105 million.
Enzo Fernandez is 100% worth that. 100%.
100%.
All right, let's see. I'm done.
The absolute
100%.
Mo.
100% is absolutely ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. All I'm saying is that you've been shitting on him for a very long time, and you're saying he doesn't start. And you're saying he doesn't start for even top 10.
Listen, absolutely.
Okay, no problem. He still doesn't start.
I will apologize to Enzo Fernandez because you want. Why do you want me to apologize? Because he scored a brilliant free kick.
Because you disrespect him and
No,
disrespect him as a player. and that's why.
Bro, I still
Let
stand
me-
by it, bro.
let me-
I still
let me
stand
ask-
by it.
Don't apologize then.
No.
I'll
Why
let
do
you
I apologize? I still
Apologize
stand
next
by
time.
it.
Apologize next time.
Okay, Ziad, hold on.
Olu, just
You
let
want
them
me
go
to
for like 10
apologize? You want me
minutes,
to
that's all it is.
apologize? You want me to apologize because he scored the free kick, or because
No,
he has a brilliant performance?
both.
Did Conor Gallagher play well today?
He did,
And
but he
don't
didn't play
lie.
better than Enzo Fernandez.
Okay, did
That's
he
not
play
what
well
he said.
today?
He played well. Yeah, he played
Yeah, I'm
well.
not asking you that question. You're
Yeah, but
answering
you're
the
asking.
wrong
But I don't know why
question.
you're going to Gallagher. We're talking about Enzo Fernandez. What's
Okay,
it
man,
got to do
I'm
with
telling
Gallagher?
you, I will apologize to Enzo Fernandez if you
No problem.
apologize to Conor Gallagher, who you
Yeah,
said
but I didn't say
isn't
anything
good
about
enough for
Gallagher.
Chelsea.
But yeah, this game doesn't change that.
So
This
why
game
does this game change what I said about Enzo?
Because Enzo is good enough to be for Chelsea, and you said he
Okay,
wasn't.
so we're going back to the last episode then when we spoke about this.
Okay, don't apologize. We'll apologize next time.
Okay, can I?
I
The
will
next game,
apologize
he'll
at the end
make
of-
you apologize.
I will apologize. Okay, hear me out. I will apologize to Enzo Fernandez if Enzo Fernandez drags this Chelsea team to a top 4 position.
Thanks.
Otherwise, he is still the same.
Maybe Staffy
That's-
told me Mainu is better than fucking Enzo Fernandez. He should be the one
I
apologizing
actually am
as well.
watching Kobe Mano. He's better than Enzo Fernandez.
Oh my
Can I ask a question?
God.
Can I ask,
I genuinely think. Why you're turning off your fucking camera?
Mo, let me ask.
Why
let me
you're
ask Ziad-
turning your fucking camera, bro? Why you're turning your fucking camera?
Listen,
Because
like Mo
you
wants
can
to, like
take
Mo
it,
likes
bro.
to say, this is ridiculous, man. This is
Let me
fucking
ask you a question.
ridiculous.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a
Fucking
question.
ridiculous,
Okay,
man.
let me ask.
Maybe
Let me ask a
you know,
question.
whatever the guy's name is, that guy's played like 3 games. Fucking
Wait.
hell, but Enzo Fernandez got more
Wait.
goals than guys got games, bro. What's
Wait,
going
this
on,
is
man?
a preview
let me
for
ask-
Halawa tomorrow. It's a preview for
Let me ask.
Halawa.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question on this because this is interesting, especially in this Enzo conversation. Right. So first of all, with Enzo, I've never heard so many stipulations made for a player in terms of where he has to play, who he has to play with, how deep, how high, etc., etc. That's interesting to me. But as a Chelsea fan who has seen some of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League play at your club, I'm talking like Marco Ballack, Marco Essien, Cesc Fabregas, right? You've seen some of the top, Lampard. How can I forget him? Claude Makelele, right? Can you tell me Enzo is anywhere near the levels of those players? And I'll take Fabregas for example. Fabregas, who I think is probably the closest to him as a player in terms of all the players I've mentioned. Is Enzo Fernandez anywhere near the level of Cesc Fabregas at Chelsea?
Man, okay,
No,
let's calm
no,
down a little bit, man.
No,
Let's
yeah,
calm down
no.
a little bit.
No,
No,
right.
yeah.
So when people are criticizing Enzo and saying actually for the hype that you guys brought him in for, right? Because a lot of Chelsea fans were hyping over him. Let's not lie about it. For the money that was paid for this guy, for the fact that like he threw his toys out of the pram to leave Benfica and so on and so forth. When people say actually he's underwhelming, right? Chelsea fans get very, very defensive over it. I understand it. There's the sort of protectiveness that you have, but the reality is this: Enzo isn't putting up trees, and Chelsea fans have to make so many different, not excuses, so many different reasons why he's not playing well. The reality is that Fabregas, when he was at Arsenal as a 16-year-old, I saw him play above the level that he should be playing at. I expect the same from Enzo Fernandez if he is the player that Chelsea fans say he is. So one performance doesn't make him all of a sudden that we need to apologize. Let him continue doing this. If he continues to show this, then of course I think we should definitely, push him to the top of him. But if he goes back into his shell and the next game he plays, he's not better than the rest of the other players on the pitch. If he's not better than what Gallagher, okay, he's probably better than what Gallagher does. But if he's not the best player on the pitch,
than Conor Gallagher for sure.
then
in some aspects of the game.
So
let me put it this way. In some aspects of the game, Enzo Fernandez is a very good player on the ball, passing the ball distribution, right? He is so slow. He can defend, so he needs someone to defend for him. That's why when Conor Gallagher and Caicedo around him, it works very well. But a lot of players were like this. Cesc Fabregas wasn't fantastic defensively, but he had people around him to help him as well defensively.
Right.
These are just my problem with some of the Chelsea fans, including Ziad here, that I actually don't think Enzo Fernandez is a bad player. I actually think Enzo Fernandez is a good player. I always have a problem, and I have a problem with my fan base when they say this player is. The only way I can put it is by numbers, right? This is how I learned. This is how I was educated. If you're telling me Enzo Fernandez is a 9 out of 10 player, you are putting him on a place that I don't think he belongs. I think he's a good player, still young, still have to learn the game. And he is someone who can be a good player. That's the point.
I agree. I
Sorry.
would
But
say
the problem
I would
is,
say this.
Andrew, the problem
Yeah.
is, when to surface, that Ziad told me that Enzo Fernandez is one of the best midfielders in the league.
Like, and a fact.
And also, sorry. Someone
Exactly.
just
You said that's a fact, right, Ziad?
Yeah.
Define
Yeah.
the best. Is he the top five?
Okay, I asked
Is
you.
he
I
top
asked
five?
you.
Let me-
I
let
asked
me
you how
define
many
it.
teams does a guy not start
No,
for? You said bloody top 10.
Let me define what is a top midfielder in the league. Is he top 5 in the league?
I can't think
At this
of
current
it now, man.
at this current rate, no, he's not.
Is he
He's not
top
top
10 in the league?
Must have top 10, bro.
McAllister, Odegaard, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri.
Given this season's performances, no, I wouldn't put him
Thank
top
you
10.
so much. I think the
Okay.
answer there in the chat, people. Is Kona? There's 200 people here. Is Enzo Fernandez top 10 midfielders in the league? Just midfielders. If you are choosing top 10, is he definitely top 10 midfielders in the league?
100%.
Based on what you have seen over the last 6 months of last season and the first 6 months of this season, is he
100%.
top 10?
And also, sorry, so I saw someone in the comments say something like Enzo is playing against young players, and because I compared him to Fabregas, and what people forget is context is when Fabregas actually started playing loads of games for Arsenal. Yes, he played for one season with Gilberto. The next player he had next to him was Flamini.
Yeah.
Flamini was the player he had next to him. He didn't have a world class, like what do you have £100 million Caicedo next to him, right? Where people also have, will say well, they paid 100 million for him. He had Flamini, who was a player we got on a cheap. So again, the context of me saying he has to play above the level of everyone else is based off his talent or his supposed talent. And if he's not doing that, then maybe we should just pump the brakes on the hype and let him get to that level. I don't know why people want to rush to crowning players before they get there.
I think what is Enzo is that he falls in a category of he's not a world class player, but there's elements there. I don't think he's been helped this much this season, but I also think he hasn't helped himself in some games this season as well. I think he can be better. Like Mo said, him and the coach need to work together to hide the weaknesses as best they can and overperform his positives as best he can. Like you said, it's not that pacey, okay? Some of the world's best players haven't been pacey.
Can we clone you as a Chelsea fan? Can we clone you?
Why? Because he's telling you what you want to hear.
Please, can we clone you as a Chelsea fan?
What you want to hear.
He's speaking sense.
And why? Because that's what you want to say. That's what you want to hear. He's saying what you want to hear.
Sense.
No, okay, he's speaking sense, no problem. I'm just saying the disrespect on Enzo Fernandez has been disgraceful.
I'm not saying Enzo is crap or anything like that. And Mo's not saying that either. We're just saying it's like that. Even Mo said he knows he can get better, right? He can get better. It's his first real full season in the Premier League. Like I said, let's see what he can do. I believe he can get better if we leave him where he is right now. If we ask him to play in this position right now, I think you're going to see the best of him. You saw it tonight. Fantastic passing. He didn't have to really think about it. Like when he moves up a bit higher in the pitch, he did it for the first part of the first half, but I think that was when he leading attacks. But then he sort of settled in, got the rhythm. That's the Enzo I want to see. That's the best of Enzo right there. And his free kick was outstanding. You know what I mean? That's the Enzo all Chelsea fans should want to see. Someone like that dictating play, and having Caicedo around him to pick up the pieces that Enzo can't do, feeds Enzo the ball, Enzo gives it to the attack, we're away, we're done. That's what should happen. Enzo can get better, we can get, but Enzo falls in the whole thing of Chelsea, that Chelsea shouldn't be 11th, and Enzo's in 11th. So we all need to get better. We need to get out of it so Enzo can be seen getting better and being better, like all the other Chelsea players should be. So I'm not saying.
I don't know. Why do people think? Why do you think Ziad I'm salty for Enzo, for example? Why?
It's not about so you said
like. Give me one logical reason. Why do you think?
You just 1 second.
I would hate on Enzo Fernandez.
It's not about. I don't know why you're hating on him, but you just said the guy, 18-year-old, is better than him because he's had a few good games, and then you said that he doesn't start for top 10 teams in the Premier League.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. You said he doesn't even start for top 10. Anyone's top 10, you said he doesn't start. And you said an 18-year-old that's had good games is better than him.
You are not answering the question. Is he top 10? You said yes. You said he's a top 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
top
I
10
don't think
midfielder, not top 10 teams. That's what you said.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
previous streams. I'm talking about previous
Okay,
streams.
previous.
Yeah,
okay.
this is
Yeah.
previous.
Oh my god, this Enzo Fernandez and Mo shit has been going on. I don't know how long, bro.
it has been going on since last season.
Okay.
Since they bought him for 105
That's
million.
what I'm saying, bro.
Since they bought him for 109 million.
No problem.
But I want to move
I'll
on from
keep him, my
Enzo. Guys,
baller,
over
man.
200 people here. We aren't even on 100 likes. I don't know why. I actually have no idea why. There's someone here that asked a question. I want everyone in the chat to answer this yes or no. Like the damn video and answer this. JW, I appreciate you. He said, as a midfielder, oh my God, as a midfielder, does Enzo make anyone around him better?
He makes the whole team better. Forget the people around him.
I think where you saw him play tonight, I think he did make people feel better, more confident. Caicedo had a good game as well today. You can see Gallagher had a good game too. We have to mention Gallagher had a good game. I thought he was exceptional.
I think everyone's good, Andrew.
Everyone had a good game. That's what I'm saying.
I think everyone. Yeah.
So yeah, he does. If you play him in that position, I know people say, well, you know, some players are just like that. You have to play them. Some players you can play in multiple positions. Some players you have to play in one or maybe just two positions. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is sometimes with football. And I believe Enzo's better in that position. I think it shows it. So he does make people better. What he has to do is make himself better going forward and still continue to make others better around him as well. And that's with consistent performances.
But
Thank you,
so
Jacob,
this reminds me of?
Thank you.
This what that makes him sound like though is a luxury player, right? Like players who are good enough. So the one player I think of is Rui Costa. Like if anyone who remembers back in the day, Rui Costa, great player, but such a luxury player in terms that you had to have so much around him for him to function well. If you had him sort of having to do the dirty work, like that wasn't the best out of Rui Costa, right? The way you're saying, talking about him right now in terms of he can make people better. Rui Costa needs to make people better, but like, yeah, if you're saying that he can make the people better, but also he needs to elevate his own game, then he's just a luxury player right now. He's just like, you have to have the perfect system built around him, or else he's just another player you have on the pitch.
No, I don't think it has to be a perfect system. I just think he has to play there for him to get better. That's all.
Basically,
It's
don't
like I
play him
said,
30 yards away
I
from
don't think
Caicedo.
you're playing. It's like if I was, this might sound a bit extreme. You're an Aston fan, right, Olu?
Mhm.
But I would not expect Declan Rice to play as a number 10 at all anytime during his career or this season, right? For you, right? That's what I'm saying. It's either a 6 or maybe an 8, so wherever you want to play him. What I'm saying is this: I'm not saying build a system around him. No way. That is a luxury player. If you're building a system around someone, I don't think you need to build a system around Enzo. You just need to play him there. That's all. It's not even the system. It's just a normal system other teams play. You just need to play him deeper in that position next to Caicedo. That's all you need to do. In my opinion, that is all you need to do. But like I said, Poch has been inconsistent with that this season. And that's why there's been inconsistencies. Well, major inconsistencies at Chelsea as a whole, but with players like Enzo themselves, it's just been inconsistencies. That's what it is. If he gets a run and we don't see improvement, then there's a bigger conversation to be had.
So I've got a theory on why Chelsea have been not so great and players like Enzo suffered. And this is weird, but go with me. I think Chelsea lacks size. And I think Poch said it as well, in terms of, I know one of the excuses he said was that he doesn't have size in the team. I think Chelsea, when I think of old school Chelsea, when I think of, I've mentioned the names, the Ballocks, the SCN, the Makelele, who was short, of course, but Chelsea always struck me as a big, powerful, tall team, right? I just remember we'll rock up to Stamford Bridge with Flamini and Fabregas, and we're talking 5'8" players against 6'2", 6'3" players. And I just think that right now you're looking at a very small Chelsea team. And I think, to be honest, today Villa played into Chelsea's hands. They were absolutely awful. They couldn't even pass the ball like 5 yards without giving the ball away. So like Chelsea grew into the game. It made it easier for them to grow into the game. I feel like when Chelsea play against teams who are more impose their strength against those two midfielders, even if you're playing them deeper, there might be troubles because your dog is still a guy who's barely 6 foot. He's barely powerful in Galadog, right? So you still have a pretty small midfield, and it's not as dominating as what the old. Listen, I grew up during the time when Chelsea. Well, I was old during the time when Chelsea had those big players, and you've walked away from that, and I think that's still going to be a problem. That's my personal point of view.
The thing about tonight was, I just don't think Villa expected us to play like that, because we haven't done the two previous games.
They probably expected Enzo to be in
midfield. Not just that, just the midfield was so far apart in terms of space. I think they expected more space.
It's weird, bro.
It's my first of all, sorry, I don't know why everyone keeps going back every time someone criticizes Chelsea. Is that, oh, you don't have Drogba anymore, you haven't got John Terry, you haven't got Lampard. Sorry, we achieved a lot of things without them as well. Look at it. Look at the midfield. You're talking about our midfield. Look at the midfield. The season we won the Champions League. Fucking Jorginho and Kante. You don't get really smaller than that. You know, you don't get smaller than midfield than that. And for me, like I saw today, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez playing together. You see that. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that consistently in terms of performance. Whether they play together consistently, you know, together being able to link up play, I don't know. That's up to Pochettino. But if you play them two together, I'm gonna say what I said when they first signed. On paper, that is one of the best midfields in the league. Simple as that. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez together is a joke.
Can we wait? When you say Kante, could we please just accept that Kante was a freak?
No, he's a freak. In terms of size.
I said size and power. I didn't just say size. I said size and power. And he was a powerful runner. He was a powerful runner, right? So when people were around saying, "Oh, the likes of Essien wasn't 6'7," I'm like, no, Essien was a unit.
Yeah, he was a unit.
Essien could bully guys who were 6'4", 6'5". So people need to understand when I'm talking about size and power. I'm talking about physically stronger. Yes, you make a great point. Yeah, when you had Kovacic and you had Jorginho, yes, they were smaller. However, Kante was an X factor. I would see Kante tackle in midfield and then tackle at the left wing and then tackle in like he would get around the pitch. So it's not just about me talking about 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". I'm talking about also about the power and the running and the sort of imposing the will on the game.
I think Caicedo's got an element to his game. I think Caicedo's got an element of that to his game. I do think.
I don't know.
The bigger picture,
similar, but
the bigger picture is that we've won the game. We're through to the next round. We've got Leeds at home. Should be walking through past them as well. You know, Pochettino, you're going to give credit to him because he done things right. You know, he's finally playing midfielders together. Wingers were tracking back, but end of the day, his substitutions I still think stank. Like, I don't know why you're going to 5 at the back when we're 3-0 up. Like, what's the point in that, bro? We're 3-0 up and you're going to 5 at the back. His comments post game still stink. You know, still trying to lower our standards. Listen, mate, you can sit here and say this is not Roman Abramovich era, like everyone's trying to say. It doesn't matter. You don't lower our standards. But listen, man, it's a cup game, and that's what matters. Crystal Palace away, win there. Man City don't get slapped up. We've seen even under Pochettino, we can perform against.
So when will you be Pochin then?
Oh, I won't be Pochin until at least he's got to do something crazy until the end of the season. Not now. I ain't gonna change after 1 or 2 games. Come on, man. Let's be honest.
He gets for me. It's not even about Pochin. For me, it'd be like if he wins one of the cups and you finish like between 6th and 8th. Then for me, given what I think about the squad, then you'd have to say he deserves another season at least, or he'll stay. No. What I'm saying, there's an argument to be made about that. That he, you know, if he finishes 6th and gets one of the cups, then for me, he's actually fulfilled what I expected this season.
I wanted to actually talk a little bit about the game itself because a lot of people don't talk about the game itself, and I wanted to, every time I was watching the game. And I was like focusing on what is happening. One of the things that Chelsea did different today, and I don't know if a lot of people like to talk about this tactically, is that Chelsea players today were very fluid. Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, and Conor Gallagher were very fluid. The exchange positions, Nicholas Jackson picked up the ball from the circle on the right, on the left. Yeah. Cole Palmer was everywhere on the pitch. This is down to the manager. This isn't down to the players. Players don't do that from their head. Nicholas Jackson wouldn't just drop on the right side because he decided to do that. Cole Palmer wouldn't drop deep and Nicholas Jackson go top because they decided to do this.
Yeah.
That's when I speak about Pochettino and how he made Spurs and that time when Dele Alli used to make the position exchange with Harry Kane, when Eriksen used to do this, when Moussa Dembele used to do stuff, it was down to Poch's tactics. I think this is what he demanded from the players. The problem is the players weren't delivering. And I'm looking at the game today, and I'm watching Nicholas Jackson, and people would say, "Oh, what do you see in Nicholas Jackson?" I saw a power, I saw speed, I saw first touch, I saw passing. That's what I see. Still the guy lacks the final touch. He's 23 years old. He can develop. I see a player there. People didn't believe me. I see a player there. From the first time I saw Nicholas Jackson in preseason, I said, I see a player there. Again, he is going to get better. Is it going to get better with this Chelsea team? That is yet to be seen, right? He isn't a crap player, right? He has some absolutely shit finishes and stuff like this. But his movement was good. His link-up play was all right. His dribbling wasn't bad today, majority of the time.
It's a great header before as well.
And he's good. I don't think he's that bad. I always said about Jackson that he isn't a crap. He isn't a top 6 for at the current moment. He isn't a top 6 forward. He isn't, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about Jackson is that every time he touches them, when you give Jackson the ball, he doesn't trip on himself the majority of the time. He doesn't.
Right.
There's a lot of players that do that, right? He doesn't. Like I'm sorry, look at the footballing ability of Nicholas Jackson versus Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher sometimes would trip on himself.
Look at just look at Mudryk compared to Jackson.
Mudryk, for example, doesn't know what weight of a pass to put.
Yeah.
How to turn with the ball. He just doesn't. It's just simple as that. But what I saw today is an exchange of positioning, a very fluid team, and the players delivered, put the ball in the back. Conor Gallagher finished well. The game opened up. Bam, 3-0.
Yeah.
But this can happen in the majority of the games for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But the players aren't delivering. I was consistent, guys, about this Pochettino thing. No context. You sit 11th, you should get sacked. But when I look at this Chelsea team, he abandoned his style of play lately, trying to get results. People don't believe that. Watch the statistics. Watch the stats. Watch how Chelsea play. Chelsea used to dominate position in every single game. In every single game. In the beginning of the season, Chelsea used to be the highest team in passing percentages in every game. They used to create a lot of chances. In the last 5-6 games, it looked completely different. Today, in the first half, you had 58% ball position against the team that dominated position against Man City and Arsenal.
Yeah.
In their ground.
Yeah.
You had more position against Aston Villa with their starting 11 in their ground. And you looked with chances created. And you created goals and you scored goals. But people didn't see that.
But Mo, that's not the problem. Mo, the problem is everything you said now, we saw the same or similar against Man City, against Arsenal. These little games, even fucking Liverpool at the start of the season, we saw glimpses of good football. The point is, it was never consistent, and it's never been consistent.
I agree with you.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go to Crystal Palace on Monday. He completely changes the team. We get slapped 3-0 or 3-1, maybe 3-2 to give him some credit.
No.
And we start again.
You're gonna be Palace.
The point is, I wouldn't be surprised. I would genuinely not be surprised if we go to Palace and lose. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll be 110%.
Why? We just got slapped 4-2 against Wolves. I'm not going to change my mind after one game. I'm sorry.
I'm not asking you to change your mind.
No, but this is why I wouldn't be surprised.
The league table says you're 11th.
But this is why I wouldn't be surprised against Palace. Because at the end of the day, it's a consistent season. And the season doesn't lie, man. We see what we see during the season. And just because one game against Villa, fair play, they're a good side. It's the end of the day, it's still a Premier League game during the season. And God knows what this manager is going to do.
Well, that's the fear, right? That's the fear, Mo. That's the fear from Chelsea fans that we see this great. We see this, like you said, pointed out, fluid. And the fear is that we've seen it before, where we'll play well 1 or 2 games, but he then reverts back to
exactly what Don is saying.
I
don't know what happens. Like, why did he? So my point is, Ben Chilwell is atrocious defensively. Not atrocious.
Yes.
He's bad defensively. Not his best attribute.
Yeah.
So he played Levi Colwill. He couldn't go forward and he couldn't help the winger.
Yeah.
I believe that, to be honest with you, Thiago Silva is a problem because he's too old. Raheem Sterling is a problem. People didn't see that. Yes, he had some good games, right? Because everybody around him was shit. But I believe Raheem Sterling, if Raheem Sterling played today, you would not have been as fluid as today. Because Raheem Sterling wouldn't have passed the ball. Like, I saw triangles. Madueke, Jackson, Palmer did triangles. Raheem Sterling
agree.
wouldn't do this. Raheem Sterling would take the
He's
ball.
very slow in the attack, if I'm being honest. Not him as a player, but when he carries the ball forward, he
Yeah, he
takes
stops,
his fucking
looks
time.
around,
He
takes like
takes his
10
time way
seconds to
too
make a
much.
decision.
Yeah.
And you lose
It's
momentum.
ridiculous.
You lose
Sometimes
momentum
he
into
does
that.
this, and I'm like, what is going on with you? And for the people that said Mo said watch out, this morning on the Football Terrace on Straight Facts, I literally said the reason. I'm gonna keep telling you people. The league table says 11th. No
So it should be.
context.
Yeah.
No
exactly.
context.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you consider yourself a big team, you say 11th, your coach should be under pressure to get sacked.
Yeah.
That's
You're
it.
right.
100%.
You're right. You're right.
Exactly.
You're 100% right.
Don, I swear to God, I told you guys this many times. Sterling gets the ball, the attack it either dies completely
Yeah.
or he runs to the line and try to cross. But he
So-
doesn't make any. What I mean is like he doesn't make plays off the training ground. He doesn't. Like if you watch
So-
Sterling play football, it's not off the training ground. It's completely.
do-
I'm gonna try to beat you.
So do you know what's funny about this? This was Sterling in his last season of Man City. Like most people, so for me, I think Sterling got a bit of PR from the way he was treated by England, right? So a lot of people believed he was better than he really is. I think you're seeing
Yeah, Chelsea got
what
scammed.
Man City,
100%.
yeah, you're seeing what Man City fans probably saw towards the end of
He
Sterling
did
in
get
terms of
scammed. You thought you
Where-
are getting someone who will carry your forwards because of the numbers, because he played under Pep, because of this and that. You thought you are getting the superstar of Manchester City, but you got a good player. I'm not saying Sterling is a shit player. Sterling is a good player. He isn't shit. Like he isn't like championship level.
No.
But Sterling isn't the guy to carry your forward line, for example.
No, that was the big when we signed him. I think that's a big misunderstanding of Chelsea fans, not like rival fans. Chelsea fans thought Sterling would be our. That's the problem. I believe the two facts. I believe he hasn't played well, and we should, but we haven't got the players, or we haven't even tried to use him as City have tried to use him at all. Being that finishing off the move, we've never ever tried that. I believe now he should be on the bench. I believe Thiago should be on the bench. I thought the Sassi and Badiashile, they looked so more confident on the ball today. They were blocking.
Bro, they are quick a little bit.
That's right. But
Yeah.
they weren't. That's
Quick
what I
in
mean.
recovery, bro.
they built our
Thiago
attacks.
Silva
They built our
relies on
attacks.
reading the game.
Exactly.
I
They
wanted to
passed
do
it,
this.
passed
See
it.
Niak here. Seeing feed Caicedo 2 sandwiches and a bag of chips, and he will become a unit like Kanté was. Amazing how playing Enzo close to him for an outlet makes him look better. Yeah,
I'm sorry, no one is going to be like Kante. He's
Just
a
don't do
freak.
this. Don't
There
do
is
this.
Kante was a
there
freak,
is
you know.
no
Don't do
there is
this.
no human being on this who, unless you go and find an Ethiopian from who is a great long distance runner and also knows how to play football. You're not going to find someone with 5 lungs the way Kante had.
So
He is special.
Kante falls into it's when someone no one ever says, "Oh, he's going to be like Makelele," because no one was like Makelele, right? No one says that.
Kanté was very close to Makelele.
No, Kante was a more.
I actually believe
athletic-
Kanté was a better player. No, not better. Like Kanté was a little bit
It was a more athletic version, I think.
more
Do you know what I mean?
athletic than
running with the
Makelele.
ball.
Yes.
Makelele was the master of the
was
5 yard
ridiculous.
pass, 360.
Kanté was
you know what I mean?
nuts.
But that's what I'm saying.
Was you known?
So I don't like. It's like let's let Caicedo be Caicedo. That's it. Let him be Caicedo. Let him be the first Caicedo and the only Caicedo going forward. Putting Kante thing on him, and I don't think even maybe Sinak didn't even mean it like that. But do you know what I mean? I think he was responding to something earlier. But no, but just like you said with Sterling and Thiago Silva, his wife's tweet actually backfired on them because he got dropped.
He's an idiot and she's stupid and why is she getting involved? Why is she getting involved? Your husband is employed by these people.
Exactly, yeah.
Stop chatting crap. You are
imagine your wife sent an email to your boss like that. You know what I mean?
get sacked. Imagine my
exactly.
wife publicly saying my boss should get sacked. And she's a public figure.
Yeah.
Like she isn't like someone who is like you are a public figure. You have a lot of followers. What are you expecting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a stupid move from her, to be honest.
No, but I just think today, like you said, we passed out the back faster. We got it to the midfield faster. We didn't slow down from the back, and unfortunately, that's what Thiago Silva has done this season. We're slow out passing from the back because he wants to take his time and survey the entire field for trying to hit like a hero ball from back to front, and then we lose possession. Raheem Sterling, listen, you got to earn your way back in now. I think you have to. I think it's been long overdue. This him being benched. It's been long overdue. You know, I think like I said, I don't like Mo said, he's not a bad player or anything like that. But if Pochettino finds a formula and it works, then and Raheem Sterling is a casualty of that, then I'm sorry, man. I'm going with the formula that's working. So I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, I know some people are saying things about how Sterling is as a 28-year-old. I'm sorry, but what I think, me personally, what I think is that Man City hid the deficiencies of Sterling as a player. I don't see personally that much difference between him now and him when he was at City. I think what he had was just that he just didn't have to carry the ball as much then as he does now. And now that he's having to do it, you're starting to see... He
carries the ball a hell of a lot more than he ever did at City.
He can be a bit brain dead. Like, in City, there were other players, like you had always get Sane and Mane incorrect. Sane, who used to carry the ball. We had Mahrez, who was more technically good on the ball. You had the likes of De Bruyne, again, who was controlling the game. You had David Silva, so he didn't have to carry the ball as much as he was the finisher. He was not.
He was used perfectly. Pep used him
playmaker.
Perfectly. He's finished. He arrived at the back post and he finished off a move. Now that
exactly,
he did loads more things like that, but that was the majority of it. Especially those 2 years when they won the title back to back with no striker, right? And he was used that all the time. We don't use him like that. We're asking to get the ball on the wing, not even like really high up the pitch. Start there, try and beat a few more people, and then try and set up someone in goal. That's never been his game. And for us to actually ask him to do that, it's just madness now. Do you know what I mean? It's just madness, and we're not going to get the right results of it. We're going to get a goal and assist here and there, but if you look at his overall game and how he performed, the stats really hide how he's been this season. He's actually got good stats, but if you actually think about it, his overall performances have not been that good, right, Ziad?
His stats, I honestly thought he had good stats. It's okay, but brother, look at his stats compared to Mudryk. Compare the minutes. And compare the GNA. He's not that better. He's not that much better.
Well, Mudryk's only scored twice, right?
So Mudryk's stats for the season and Sterling's played a lot more minutes.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna bring it up now, bro. It's a bit mad.
But my thing was, if we gave Mudryk those minutes, I don't think he'd get.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah,
he had anything more to it, so it's like.
So do you believe at least he should deserve a chance, Pochettino, to the cup final? It's only 2 games away.
Oh, I don't think. Listen,
3 games away.
I think if we would have got a Mauling tonight, I think he might have gone because we got 5 days to the Palace game.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think he would have gone if we got a Mauling tonight. I think he's got a stay of execution because if you actually are logical, okay, you beat Palace, but if you're really logical, you would not expect Chelsea to pick up any points away at City whatsoever, right? You just wouldn't. You just wouldn't. So then it's then.
And you have Spurs. That game. That game is postponed.
The final. Yeah. But what you got to think about the City game is, Mo, how can you limit damage in terms of mentally, right? Like,
I don't think they're gonna approach it like this. I think they're gonna approach it try to actually play football.
Okay, that's fine.
I 100% think that he's gonna approach it. You don't think that players like Cole Palmer will be galvanized? Sterling would want to deliver?
I think they will. I think they will. Listen, if he approaches it the same way, I mean, it's going to be difficult because obviously KDB's back, so I don't think he can approach it the same way as we did when we drew 4-4 with them. He can try, but it's going to be a difference because KDB's there and
Haaland's back as well. Fuck my life.
So, yeah, but Haaland was in the first game, wasn't he? Because he scored those 2 goals. So, but more importantly, KDB's back. So, but I would say that for most teams going to the Etihad, they're not going to pick up anything, barring maybe Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it won't be a shock if we lose. It's just I don't want to go there a week before the cup final and get hammered 4 or 5-0. Do you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be go get like hammered, to be honest. Listen,
I was going to say coming back to the game today. I think what was interesting, which is I don't know how much can be replicated, is if you took a Jackson as the player that you sort of highlight, was the use of space in terms of trying to get the ball quickly behind the Villa flanks, right?
Yeah.
Usually when I watch Chelsea, everything's just slower. Everything is like you said, when you have like a Sterling trying to carry the ball past 2-3 players, then going backwards and passing. Whereas today, I don't like Jackson. I think the strength they used today was that they gave him more space to do work. So he had time to sort of figure out what he wanted to do. And sometimes, when they say players like, if you get too much time to think, I think actually Jackson is one of those players where you actually need to give him space and time to think a
Do
little
you
bit.
believe he can be a good
settle
forward
himself.
for Chelsea?
Who? Jackson.
Yeah,
a good forward. I mean, so okay, define good forward for me.
like someone who
And
starts
I'll tell you
regularly
what,
for Chelsea Football Club.
I don't see him as a striker 100% not. And as a winger, I think we can go out and get a better winger than him.
yeah,
think
I'm
that's
not
an
saying. I
investment
think he's
in
an option. I think he's an option. I'm not saying sell him because I think he's good enough to be within the squad as an option, as a striker, as an option on the wing. But to start consistently, I don't think he's good enough to be a left winger or a striker to be starting.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't.
Jackson. I think actually Jackson would bowl in a 3-5-2 formation with the second striker next to him.
Maybe him and Oshiman, possibly.
I actually think that formation, he would absolutely be lethal in that formation because you might not ask him to score a lot of goals, but you're asking him to do the dog work, the hard work around to get the ball to the other forward. I believe so.
Yeah, I think he might get a lot of assists in that formation as well.
Like I believe, like if I was Inter, I would take Jackson at my club at least for as a bench player for now.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
what,
take him.
I
We'll
think
get.
we
We
should.
get that Turam
We
guy.
should have done that.
You get
this
what?
season. We should.
Take Jackson. We'll take Turam.
It's 100 million. you know, he has 100 million euros.
I love Turam.
release
That
clause.
guy. That guy's a good player, man. Good player, man.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Listen, like looking at Chelsea is very confusing, and people like because again, it's very confusing.
They're not confused. This is the manager's made it
It
confusing.
is very confusing.
Yeah, because it's the manager's made it confusing. Because we don't know what
No,
Chelsea's
it's not.
going to turn up. I'll tell you something.
it's
Yeah,
not.
I'll tell you something. Everyone keeps shitting on. You know, it's not you, Mo. It's the other Hussam saying average age is 12. A bunch of youngsters. Do you know today that was a very young squad, starting 11, very young.
Yes.
And you want to give credit to Pochettino, like Hussam is saying, and everyone's saying, "Oh, you Pochin." You got to give credit to the players as well, because that was a young squad, and like we've been saying, we've been proving that these players are good enough. You use them right, they're good enough. It's as simple as that. It's just like I said, it's what is this guy going to do going forward in the next few games? We don't know.
So I'll tell you this, right? The biggest problem with Chelsea is the club itself. That's the whole problem. The whole club is the problem. You've got ownership who doesn't know what they want to do. First season, they want to go with established players. And when people talk about this £1 billion that was spent, you bought a bunch of established players. You didn't just buy a whole bunch of young players last year. You bought Koulibaly. You had the likes of who else did you buy last year? You bought
Sterling.
So exactly, you bought a whole bunch of established players. It failed, and they went, you know what? Let's move to this young sort of project, right? And again, let me break something down to some Chelsea fans. You are owned by an investment company. Their primary thing is to essentially make money at the end of this project, whether it's 10 years or so forth. When they eventually want to sell, they want to sell for a profit. So the reason why they buy a lot of these young players is because they're thinking of how much they can flip these players. Because eventually they need to pay dividends out to the people who invest into Clear Lake investments, right? They're not doing this out the sort of, oh, they care about Chelsea. The mess that's happening right now with Chelsea is because that vision they've got clearly does not work in the European game. And I think that they're trying to pivot so much in terms of bringing this player, bringing that player, bringing this manager, that player, until you get people who are in there who actually say, for the next 10, 15 years, we need stability. We need to figure out what this club wants to be. We need to figure out, you don't have private owners. Like, okay, look at Arsenal, for example. You look at Man City, even United, they have private owners whose only thing is, we've bought this club, we want to make the best of this club. You have an investment company. It's called Clear Lake Investment for a reason. Until that business model changes and they're not thinking about flipping players and bringing in these random players who you guys have never heard of, who get hyped up because they're trying to flip it, this will continue happening. You'll bring another manager and they'll keep saying, you know what, you need to work within these parameters. And it might not be obvious to you right now, but in 5 years' time, it might become more obvious when you're selling all these players who you brought in for no reason. Look at the guy you got from Arsenal, whatever his name is, that young player who's now playing, what's his name? There was a guy you guys took from us, Hutchison. He's never going to play a game for you guys. Never going to play a game for you guys.
Yeah, I knew that when we signed him. I know most of these players we signed are not going to play for.
Yeah, but
exactly.
That's not their model, Andrew. That's the sporting director's model. This model of young managers and young players. But before the sporting directors came in, they were the ones that signed the leaders and the experienced players.
Because the idea was this. Okay, let me. I don't want to make this boring, but when they've pitched this idea to buy Chelsea, they've got to pitch it to the people who are investing in them to say, this is how much we're going to make by investing into this club. it's not a Roman who says, I've got 6 billion, 10, I'm worth 10 billion, I can spunk this much. They are looking for dividends at the end of it. So when they first buy this old players, they're saying, we're going to make Champions League, and the Champions League money is going to bring this much money, we can pay this dividends to you. That didn't work. What's the next model? Buy players and flip them. So it's still the same people. The sporting people in there are just trying to figure out how to make this work. But Chelsea are the most unique club right now in the Premier League in terms of this model. And if they don't make this work, it's going to be a very, very long time before Chelsea get to
I think
winning
they're
at the top level.
I think their ultimate goal is to build a stadium like Spurs. Because then they want to get all the contracts, NFL games, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So they are getting players. Hopefully, they will flip like 3, 4, 5, 6 for like 400 million. Build the stadium.
No. I'm saying this. Sorry, don't mean to press. I think it's separate because what we've read is that they had separate funds for the stadium. Right? The stadium they put funds aside. I think what they want to do is not. I think the flipping the players is just a bonus thing. I think the ultimate goal is to get a stadium like Spurs have built and get all those contracts that Spurs have built. Look how much Spurs are now the richest club in London. They're the richest club in London because of their match day revenue and because they host NFL games there and stadium concerts and all that crap. That's it. That's done. I think that's what the owners ultimately want to do. Whether they'll get to do that because of planning permission and the Chelsea owners. The pitch owners is a different story. I think listen, people forget Chelsea used to do this by not as much as we do now, but we used to buy young players and never play them and flip them.
But it was supplemented by world class players.
That is something that I hope I hope that they take away from this season and go, we went too far. You know what I mean? We went too far one way. We went from summer 22 buying experienced players to January 23 onwards buying mostly young players. And we're seeing that it's not working out the way we thought it would. So now let's pivot and say, okay, and whether you get rid of directors or not is up to you. But there needs to be a strategy going, okay, so we need to actually build a squad that's got a mixture, right? Let's now buy experienced players. Let's buy they don't have to be world class or anything like that, but they have to be experienced players to help level things out.
I think we're looking at two different things this year, Andrew.
I always say get a few, not the AGs right now, but get a few like James Milner types. Do you know what I mean? That is just
okay. Last part, I wanted to ask a question to everybody and in the chat. Yeah. What is a realistic finish for Chelsea that will keep Pochettino in the job for you as a Chelsea fan?
I think he'll get.
You are 7 points behind 6.
Right.
So
I think anything between 6th and 8th, and he wins a cup.
That's not.
And he wins one of the 2 cups.
I think no. I think that they'll give him that. Whether I wouldn't do that because, like you said, I still think it's a bit. It's not what I want, but I think they would give him that. If he turns it around.
I thought you wanted that.
No. I think if he turns it around, I'd still probably because I've got like a certain mode. If it's still the same and we're still losing and stuff like that, then
I think it's impossible for you to get 4th at the moment.
No, 4th. No.
15 points behind 4th.
No. Please,
with 15 games left, this is impossible.
Bro. If someone gives me 6 right now, I'd snap your hand off for 6.
We were 1 point. We were like 1 point off 7th a couple games ago.
Right, but the problem is,
look where we are now, away from 7th.
Yeah.
Win both cups and get.
It wasn't impossible.
Adib, you are being Adib. How would you get 4th? It's impossible.
No.
I think mathematically, that means the team in 4th within the next 15 games have to lose.
Yeah, but what about 5th? 5th can still get you Champions League football. Is that going to happen? Okay, let's just say 5th gets you football.
But let me just tell you something. You are 13 points from 5th. I think that's unrealistic. Do you think that team in 50 will lose 5 games and you will win 50? So imagine you will win 10 games out of the last 15 games. Do you think the other team has to lose 10 games for you to get 5th? 10 games.
I can't. When did we win 5 games? I can't remember last time we won 5 league games in a row.
This is not
Do you know what I mean?
realistic.
I
Not
think
realistic.
If that happens, I think it's a miracle. The guy deserves to be manager of the season.
I
Yeah, if
think-
he gets that, he's definitely
Like,
staying.
I'm
Even I
being
would say he has to
serious.
stay.
I
think for him to stay, he looking at the table, but this is his own fault as well, yeah, Mo. Because
Yeah,
not long,
100%.
not long ago,
100%.
not long.
100%.
Listen, for me, I don't know. Fucking
I'm
top
not
six-
arguing. Listen,
Cups and
Ziad,
probably top
I am
6.
not
I don't
arguing
know.
this with you. Sitting 11th, it's a combination, but he's part of that. I'm just being from this point on.
I don't know. Maybe top 6 and both cups. He has to. If he doesn't win both cups, if he doesn't win both,
If he doesn't win
he can
against
go.
Liverpool, you think
I don't
it's
give a
done,
shit.
that's
He can fuck off.
So Mo, what's the question? Is the question?
I'm not bothered.
Is the
I'm not bothered.
so wait,
He's
so
put
again,
himself
this
in
is-
his position. He's put himself in his position. A couple games ago, we were 1 point off 7th. We are fucking 11th. So I don't
So
care.
this is-
But he can take
This is where we
accountability.
need to, this is we need to distinguish between what you want versus what the club wants, right? Because when we do these things, we talk from our perspective. So when you say 2 cups and so on and so forth, the reality is they might just say, no, we need you to get into the top 10, right? And then we build again because you got a young team.
Top 10.
This is what the club
You
could
think
say.
someone spend that much money and think about top 10?
Mo,
You think someone spends that much money and doesn't sack a guy that's 11th?
Mo, we saw this with Teta, where we all said, listen, people were protesting outside the stadium, get rid of Arteta, and the club said we're going to give him a new contract. We're going to give him no. The point I'm making is that the club said they're going to give him a new contract, even though people were clamoring for it to go. What I'm saying is that what fans want and what the ownership wants sometimes don't align, and they might look at you and say, we've got a young squad, we've invested into the squad. If we have to bring another manager in and start this whole process again. And people hate that word process, but I use process in terms of like actually getting a manager to get used to the team, get used to the environment, settle down and so on and so forth. It's going to take us back another step in this project that we're doing. So we're going to have to just give Poch the time to try to figure it out. Don't be surprised that if you get into the top 10, top 8, he's not the manager next season, even with our cup.
Oh, I think they want now. Obviously, they wanted Champions League. I think they want European football, whatever level that is. They want European football for next season.
Conference League is all right.
No, it's not. I'm not. What I'm saying is, I think they've adjusted. I think they've adjusted their own requirements. I truly believe they've adjusted their own requirements, seeing how it's gone throughout the season. And I think they'll take European football, whether it's through winning one of the cups or finishing in the league, and they'll take it. Now, that still doesn't mean though that they can still sack Poch even if he achieves that. Because they might say it still wasn't good enough. You promised us this and you didn't deliver. Like we saw it. So even if he gets those 2 objectives, it's still a big decision whether he still goes through.
I mean, you look at top 5 right now. You've got Tottenham and Aston Villa involved. Top 3, forget about it. They're not going to drop points. But is it impossible for Aston Villa to go on a mad run and start losing games and be shit?
I don't think the problem is, I think you might agree with this. I don't think it's on others dropping points. I don't trust us to go on a run 100%. To pick up the points.
100%.
That's what it is.
But what I'm saying in terms of if we can reach that stage, if you fix up and consistently win like you should be doing and like you should be doing since the start of the season, I don't think it's impossible for Aston Villa to start dropping down. Look, Aston Villa to be in May and be fucking 4th, I'm like, oh my God. So I wouldn't be impossible for them to drop points and start dropping down the table.
But the problem is that you still got 5 other teams that also have to drop the same amount of points.
Who says you're going to finish ahead of Brighton, for example?
I'm just telling you what he has to do.
United, for example.
I'm just telling you what he has to do for me to change my mind. That's it.
All right.
Like I said, I just don't trust this team or the manager to go on a run like that to pick up the points necessary.
It's not going to happen. It's what happened during the start of the season. For it to just switch like that, it would be a miracle.
Amazing.
It would be a miracle.
Switch. Yeah.
It would be a miracle.
I personally think, don't be surprised if Poch is, regardless of not getting a trophy, is still manager next season. I think that like
he won't. If he doesn't get Europe and he loses the cup, he's gone. Even after shit border, he'll be gone.
I promise you that what you might think is happening and the 5 points, 10 points, whatever plan they've got in their boardrooms and they're thinking of doesn't match. And the very fact that you guys got absolutely pumped by Wolves at home, right? And the noises didn't come out.
I thought that warranted a sack, by the way.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I did as
tunnel,
well.
in
There
the
was no,
tunnel.
there was no, there was no,
No
there was
context.
no vote.
You
There was no
Chelsea,
vote. So usually you get a vote of confidence comes out, right? No vote of confidence came out.
He did. He got a text.
you got a he said he got a
Oh, you
text from the owners. They're
oh, you
behind him. He literally
Oh, there
said
you
that
go.
in the press conference.
Oh,
I got a
did he? I
text from
didn't.
the owners.
Okay, fair enough. But you didn't get official vote of confidence. So even that tells you everything. The owners are texting him directly to say, "Don't worry about this. Just continue doing what you do. Eventually, you might get this right. Don't be surprised if you still manager next season."
I would say this. I think what's really clouding their judgment is the cup final in
Yeah.
2 weeks. I really do. I really think we're that close. Should we sack someone that close to who's got us to the cup final? I really think that's clouding their judgment. I don't think if we had a cup final, I don't think he'd still be it. After the Wolves, I think he'd be gone. Well, he should have been gone after the Wolves anyway. Should have been gone after the Wolves, let alone I think he should have been gone the Wolves. But I think the cup final was really clouding their judgment. In terms
I agree with you. European trophy or goodbye, Poch. Yes, I agree with you. Maybe. I don't know what's realistic, to be honest. Anyway, listen, people, absolutely magnificent show. Thanks for Anjo, Ziad, and Olo for being here, of course. Shout out your channels, of course. Ziad. Oh, Ziad's corner, of course.
Ziad Zone, which corner?
Ziad's zone. Ziad's zone. Oh, Ziad.
He got
It's actually called Ziad only.
Yeah, it's called
That's
Ziad,
my yeah, but that's my yeah. I mean,
And Casually FC, of course, in the description, people. Thank you so much.
And
Stay
before
here.
we go,
Yeah.
And before we go, I've got to do my customary charges against Mo. So
Oh,
we've had Onana was the first one, right? The second one was Amrabat. The third one has to be that Arsenal were not going to beat Liverpool. Right? So again, Judge Mo, I'm going to disbar you from
the
being a
Enzo one.
judge.
Add the Enzo one to it. Add the Enzo one to it.
You might just have to become just a barrister at this point.
I gotta say, I don't really
at this point,
I don't really defend. I don't really defend a lot of people. I've got to say, I think the Amrabat one's a bit like that. I don't
They
think
ruined them,
Amrabat-
though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
If they ruin Pogba, they definitely can ruin Amrabat.
Yeah,
Should have come
exactly.
Chelsea.
As everyone knows, every time I come up here, I'm going to bring charges against Mo until we disbar him.
How are you feeling about the league then? Seriously, genuinely, how do you feel about your chances of winning the league now? Did it improve? Did it increase?
Of course. Last time we spoke, remember I said Atletico Madrid was my scenario in terms of when they won the league against Barcelona and Real Madrid. I still think that's the same scenario. In fact, what I think is funny, and I don't want to turn this into an Arsenal chat, so I'll just keep it very short, was before Arsenal lost those 2 games against Fulham and Fulham and West Ham, the talk was that it was Man City and Arsenal, and Liverpool just, because of last season, have to keep going. And now so it's flipped now it's Arsenal who are the ones who are sort of the third horse in the 2-horse race. So it's quite funny how these things change. Like I said, one win and 1 loss doesn't define the season. It's take a longer period of time. I think Arsenal will still be there.
Like the video before we go. Tomorrow, turn on the notification bell because tomorrow we have Hussam and LB, one of your favorite shows, 1:30 UK time. Turn on the notification bell and we'll see you guys soon. And we are out of here, people.
Peace.